Hey, Ravings and Cravings here, otherwise known as Ruth Artesian Alibi, bringing you yet another live interview here at WILI on Main Street in Willimantic. I am joined here today with Barry Jesserun. He does so many things, and he's going to have to talk for quite a while because we have to get them all in there, right? But you would best know him for places like the Vanilla Bean and Fenton River Grill and Dog Lane, and what's the last one?
85 Main in Putnam.
That's the one I always forget.
It's so far away from Willimantic.
Putnam is like going to, Washington State, isn't it?
Well, it's about a half hour, maybe.
It's a half hour. So, Barry, tell us about all those 4 places and where they're located, and then we'll go beyond the details, okay?
All right, great. Let's start with the chronological order, right? The Vanilla Bean Cafe opened in 1989. We opened it to sort of fill a little niche out there where we wanted to do a good, what I referred to back then as a middle-of-the-road lunch place, somewhere you could get, something good to eat, get it quickly, hang out if you want. I tried to, bring back the European-style cafe, because in Connecticut, cafes back then were like gin mills. Place you could go get a cheap drink,
Interesting.
So we opened up with that idea, and it took off. We've been there now for 35 years. We're in our 35th year.
Are you kidding?
No, that's how long we've been around.
Okay, pause there for a minute.
Okay.
So what's the location of that one?
That's located at 450 Deerfield Road in Pomfret, Connecticut. If you look at the map, it's the little black dot that says Pomfret at the intersections of 44, Scenic Route 169, of course, Scenic Route 97.
And I'm curious, do you have anything currently on the menu that was on the menu 35 years ago? Or has it morphed?
The saying in this industry is the restaurant you open is not the same restaurant you have 5 years later.
Sure.
That said, we started out with the build your own sandwich, right? That was one of the main things we did. And that's still kind of quietly off menu, but still there. If you want to come in and build your own sandwich, we will talk you through that.
Okay.
Right? So that's still there. But no, everything we sort of grew into what we've become. A lot of the things are basic. We started with pastrami. We still have pastrami. We started with turkey. We still have turkey.
Good thing.
But the way the restaurant's grown over time, we've created menu items that became static. So when we first opened, we just made soup, based on our whims, what was available, what we felt like. And then, customers said, hey, we really like that you do all these soups, but can you make one we can rely on? That we know is going to be there. Because people are like creatures of habit, and they want to go to a restaurant and get the thing they like.
Yeah, so that we have our expectation, and if we don't get it, we go home and we cry, right? Or we complain.
So over the years, we created a bunch of static menu items, and eventually grew into that. And I would say by the 3rd or 4th year, we had a menu that is pretty much like it is today, that things come and go on throughout the years.
Is the chili like one of the main things there?
We made the chili the first year. There was no chili on restaurants in northeastern Connecticut at all.
What?
And we were wondering, okay, maybe it's not a chili area. Let's throw it on as a special and find out. And of course, we sold it. We now make that recipe was quadrupled. And busy times of the year, we will make that 3 or 4 times a week. And that's in October. But usually it's about twice a week we make that chili. But yeah, it's become... you asked about it, so as you know, it's become one of our most popular items.
It is. All right, so we got the Vanilla Bean. I got 3 more to go, so go for it.
All right, the next one that opened was 85 Main. We opened that in 2005. We're in our 18th year, if I've done my math correctly on that one.
Wow.
We opened that to sort of fill the niche of an upscale casual restaurant, sort of in a little country town, because we found that a lot of our customers were driving to West Hartford or to Providence to get a good meal. And what we solved for them was not so much driving to Providence or Hartford, but the drive home. Because, it's later, you're tired, you've had something to eat, and now it's dark. And we were able to, slowly grow that business to where it was, fully acceptable. And then we started pulling people in from Rhode Island and from Massachusetts, to come and eat there. And it's done well. In 2000 and what was it? It was 2009. We expanded the bar and added sushi to the menu.
No, you have sushi there?
Yeah.
Oh.
And we have.
All right. Well, I need to go.
We have really good sushi, man. We bring
sushi.
in whole fish and break them down. I'll tell you something interesting that happened during the pandemic. During the pandemic, the supply chains had problems all over the place, and a lot of the Chinese restaurant supply chains were out of New York, and the only sushi restaurants around here were at these Chinese restaurants that were also doing it. And they couldn't get stuff. So we were the only place, like in a 10 or 15 mile circle or more, that was doing sushi. So our sushi sales went through the roof.
I bet.
And people came and they had our sushi and they're like, oh, this is sushi, because it was fresh. I mean, we were getting absolutely great fish during the pandemic because there was so few buyers for them, and we were just
interesting,
gobbling it up. But yeah, adding sushi there made a big difference. We put a patio there. All our restaurants have outdoor patios. It's kind of crucial. When we opened the last one, Fenton, which I'll get to in a moment, it was actually part of the deal. The town had to approve the patio being built. Oh. And the landlord had to agree to pay for half of it in order for us to sign a lease and go in there. That's how important outdoor patios are for us. And of course, the pandemic showed the value of that.
Oh yeah. Well, we were all eating outside for quite a while. And are there heaters out there? Like, can we go eat out there?
Yes, we do have patio heaters there.
Oh, just like Italy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fenton River. You want to go on to that one?
No, I don't. I just want to touch base on 85 Main. We opened that with a managing partner. His name's James Martin. He's the driving force behind what actually is 85 Main. It's his creativity and his talent really that makes that place what it is, and the staff that we bring in that want to work under him and with him to create that. That's what it is. Because our job as Green Valley Hospitality is to open and support these places. We don't necessarily try and run them all. That would be crazy, and I'd probably be divorced.
Because you wouldn't have a life beyond the restaurants.
Right. So we create places that other people want to step in and help us do. To a certain degree, we're like the storytellers. We dream this stuff up and then have people come in who want to help us fulfill on this story and then help shape it. Like the way I put it is I like design restaurants the way I sort of create soup. Like I'll write a recipe for soup and I'll make it, and then I'll have a bunch of people try it. And I go, what do you think? And they go, this is good, but what if you try that? Or what if you try that? And over 2 or 3 or 4 iterations of it, we hone this really, really good soup. It becomes a staple. We throw it in the cookbook, and now anybody can make it. And we sort of do the same thing when we're putting together a restaurant. We come up with the business plan, the idea, the design, and then we talk to other people, and we involve other people who care about these things, right up to the people who are doing the work building it. They might come up with suggestions, and we'll go, hey, that's a good idea. Let's throw that in the mix.
Well, that sounds like a lot of collaboration.
Absolutely.
And I mean, that takes a lot of time to birth something when you have, the more people there are, the more complication there is in collaboration, or the more energy there is, or the more creativity, whatever.
Yeah, it's more creativity. It's still sort of my vision that I'm putting together, so I still get to say yay or nay as we're putting it together. But having that input, it just makes it so much better. Just like the soup is so much better because a bunch of people had their hand, and it's a guided hand. It's not like someone throwing extra stuff in when you're not looking. You know what I mean? These are guided with a story in mind.
Okay, now I'm hungry for soup.
I know. That's how it goes. So the next restaurant we opened was Dog Lane Cafe in Stores, right by Yukon. We'd been looking at Yukon for a long time, probably since the first or second year after we opened the Vanilla Bean, because I would say that was our largest constituent of customers would said, we love the bean, but we really need one down in Mansfield. The problem was Yukon owned all the property around Yukon. There wasn't a big enough place, blah, 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 right? Years go by, we never really found anything, and then they started this downtown stores thing.
Yeah.
And this is interesting because they started that project, I think, around the year 2000 or 2001. And then the downtown partnership formed somewhere in 2001 or 2002. I joined it somewhere in 2003, pay my dues, and I get the emails, and I go to meetings, and I find out what's going on. And then in 2008, I signed a letter of intent.
Wow.
In 2011, I signed a lease, and we opened in 2012. So that's how long that project took.
Talk about a long-term project.
Right, and a lot of people came and said, how did you get this great location, in this project?
Yeah.
And it's because I was playing the game from the beginning. And a lot of people up in that area were like, oh, it'll never work. It's not going to happen. It's never happened before. Nobody wants it, right? And I was like, it didn't cost me much to pay attention.
Interesting. That's a very interesting aspect of restaurant ownership.
And then when they said, hey, they're looking for leases, I was the first guy. I called them up and I said, hey, I'm ready. And they said, we're not. Give us 2 weeks. All right? So we met at Starbucks. And my promise to them when we met at Starbucks is, in the future, when you're meeting new tenants, you're going to meet them in my space. And sure enough, that's what happened.
That's beautiful. I love that location, and I love the windows. That is like such a draw for me. I always like to sit by the window and just watch the cars, watch the people.
Yeah, lots of natural light there. It's a southwesterly exposure.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful all day long.
Bottomless cup of coffee.
Yeah. And the address there is One Dog Lane, hence Dog Lane Cafe. Also, of course, most of your listeners know the Husky is Yukon's mascot. So
yes.
Ours is a Malamute, in case anybody was wondering. We have a dog as part of our logo, and it's a Malamute.
Oh, okay. Definitely different breed, right? What do you like to eat when you go there?
I tend to go with just a half a sandwich. And it's the chicken salad, because we make the chicken salad there like you'd make it at home with leftover roasted chicken.
Like real chicken?
Yeah, we roast chickens in that space all the time. We make a lot of menu items from it. We're making all our soups from the stock from the chickens. It's like
from scratch cooking.
Yeah, absolutely. And so anything with chicken in it, but especially that cold chicken salad, it's made with apples, and I don't know. It's really
nice.
really good. And that's one of the other one that I like there is the smoked salmon BLT.
Oh, yeah, I've had that.
Yeah, we put that on the menu as sort of a stretch. We're like, do you think this will work?
It works.
And then the first 3 days we were open, we didn't sell one of them.
Oh.
Which was really bizarre. And we're like, oh my God, it's not going to work. And now it's like our number 3 best-selling sandwich.
And you guys have great desserts there. Oh, my gosh.
We do. We've honed it down to like the best sellers at the Vanilla Bean. And we've put those there.
So what are they? And
then we have a rainbow cake, which is surprisingly good. It's like your neighbor made it for your kid's birthday party. It looks good, it tastes good, and it doesn't seem like it's an industrial cake. There's a gluten-free flourless chocolate tort that is really, really rich and really, really good. And then the carrot cake is just, a lot of people say this is the best carrot cake I've had. And occasionally we'll have a cheesecake in there that's really, really good. And then we have a lot of other smaller ones that we'll make in-house, or there'll be a par bake type of thing that they come in frozen and we'll finish them off there.
Brownies,
but they're baked there every day. Yeah. So stuff like that.
And it is such a great location. And then we traveled, after we have our lunch there, we'll have dinner at Fenton River, right?
Making all around. That's it.
Why not start at Vanilla Bean for breakfast, lunch at the...
My daughter's figured out how to do that. I want to eat at all 4 locations in one day, and this is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So I have hit all 4 locations in one day. It doesn't happen often. It involves a lot of driving, but usually it's like 2, maybe 3.
It's a staycation. It's a you stayed in the state for one day,
Yeah. The other thing that's very popular there is smoothies. We do a lot of real fresh fruit smoothies. A lot of places use prepackaged stuff, and we don't do that. We're using fresh ingredients all the time to make those, and those are really, really good. And of course, our coffee there is really good.
It is, yeah. I like your clam chowder there.
Same chowder, same chili between the Bean and Dog Lane. Those 2 things are exactly the same.
Oh, interesting.
So if you're looking for that, that's how that is. Some of the other things are the same. The pastrami Reuben is the same, made the same way. We make our own Thousand Island dressing.
I love Thousand Island.
Really, really good
on
stuff.
Everything.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, let's get to the next one. So
yes.
Fenton River Grill, we opened that again based on customer feedback and said, hey, look, we really love Dog Lane. We love the quality you're doing, but we really want to be waited on, and we want a bar. We want to have a glass of wine or a drink after work, and can you do something like that? And we're like, okay, let's look around. So we looked around, and again we ran into the same problem we had before around Yukon. There is very little where you can put in the number of seats you need to actually be a profitable and sustainable and enduring restaurant, and make it work. So we never found anything. And at one point, the town manager of Mansfield came to me and he said, "What about looking in the plaza down, by Big Y?" And I'm like, well, it's kind of far. It's a plaza. I don't always associate really good restaurants in plazas, although I have eaten at really good restaurants in plazas. So, I got to check my own, what's that bias there? I've certainly been to some that have been exceptional. So we looked at the place. It was Angelino's, as most of you will probably remember, and Angelino's was there for a long time. And they had grown a little bit into that space, but they hadn't grown a lot. They had a little room that they'd built in on. And it came down to it just wasn't big enough. And I said, I can't do what I need to do, so no. And then about 3 or 4 months later, the landlord called me back up, and he said, what if I move H&R Block? They have a space right next door.
Give you some more space.
And I said, okay, let me go down and take a look. So, of course, went down, took measurements, did some rough sketches and numbers, and I said, okay, it'll work. And then we spent, a long time negotiating a lease for that space. But we eventually came to terms and went ahead and did it. Again, it was to fill that niche that people said they wanted in this area, And one of the things we were after there, we wanted a really good beer selection. We've got 20 beers on tap, almost all of them local to southern New England.
Oh, wow.
And a lot from Connecticut. So
that's very interesting. That's great.
Really great there. Great cocktail list. We have a couple of bartenders there that really know what they're doing and love creating these things. And we change that cocktail list usually about twice a year. Got a great wine list. The managing partner there is Steve Smith. He's the quintessential restaurant guy. He used to work for the John Kadama Restaurant Group down in the Mystic area. He was part of Dock and Dine and the Steak Loft. So those places down there.
Long history.
He was with them for 20 years or so. But he's the guy behind, helping us open Dog Lane and then helping us open Fenton. Like I said, he's the guy. You're going to see him out front. You'll see him helping at the bar. You'll see him helping in the kitchen. He can literally do any job there is in the restaurant and do it well.
Wow.
But he's a great front of the house guy. He's a great ambassador, and he really builds a really strong team of people who care. And that's a talent that not everybody has.
No, that is a talent. So I'm just wondering, what's next?
Oh, nothing.
Really?
Oh no, I'm done at 4.
This is the end of this is the era, the end of the era for restaurants.
Yeah, a long time ago, I was certainly in the late 90s, I actually wrote my own business plan for my life. And in that business plan, I spelled out how many kids I thought I should have and how many restaurants I wanted to open.
And how did you
After
do
the
it?
first kid, I realized 3 kids I did not want. I'm like, man, 1 is enough, So we ended up with 2 kids, and I don't say ended up. We planned for 2 kids after we said 3 is too many. It's like I just ended up with another kid. That doesn't sound good, does it? Right? So no, we 2 kids. So the business plan changed there, and the 5 restaurants in the business plan became 4,
5.
Mainly because of just inflation. I mean, to a certain degree, we're able to reach the top line sale that I was looking for, that I thought I needed 5 for, but 20 years later, 4 does that number, and that works. And 4, from my office, from the bookkeeping, from everything, just works really well with 4. A 5th one would just sort of be too much.
5th wheel.
And the other thing is, when I did all this, I put a little dot on the map where I live, and I drew a circle around it, and I would only do anything within a half hour of that circle.
Because you don't want to waste your time just driving places.
No, God, no. And it's about quality of life. I mean, what we do is about quality of life, not just for us, but the people who work for us. We want to make sure that, even managers, salary managers are specified 45 hours a week. Less when it's quiet, maybe a little busier if there's, like moving weekend or something like that.
Yeah, or
right?
holidays, graduation.
But
whatever.
time off and all that's important to us, so we try and make it important to the people that work for us, too. So it was important for me when I was building it. And we were invited. We've been invited to Hartford. We've been invited to the casino, to Providence. We've been invited to Amherst up by UMass because they like what we're doing, and they say, hey, come and do it out here. And we go, no. It's not, I don't want to be that far away.
Well, I think then that means that what we have here, what you've established here, is something very special that I think everybody should take advantage of and go to at least one of the places, if not all 4, because it's not happening anywhere else. This is a very unique thing to our part of the state, isn't it?
It is. I was just interviewed recently by the Last Green Valley. They're going to do an article in something in 2024. And she asked a question that says, how come when I travel I can't find places like the Vanilla Bean or Dog Lane?
Good question.
And I honestly didn't know how to answer it. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it goes back what I talked to her about then. It's the story. Like my brother and I, we care. And we're not in this game, right, for making the most money we can. We're in this game for quality of life. We get to live in northeastern Connecticut, and have a decent work-life balance that a lot of people in business don't have. I mean, a lot of people, they don't run their businesses. Their businesses run them. And, we took a great deal of effort to make sure that wasn't going to happen to us. I mean, there are times it does, don't get me wrong, but there's many times it's not.
Well, I think what you've established is a very unique culture as far as the workplace and also serving the public. You've established a culture of your own that is like, I think, was it Lois that you were talking to? Was it Lois, or was it somebody else?
It was somebody else.
Okay, from the Last Green Valley. But that's what I'm thinking is that something that that Rome was not built in a day. It's something that has been wrought out over the years, and now I think you've arrived.
Yeah, we've built what we wanted to do. You know,
did.
I mean, I have my own sushi restaurant. That was something I always wanted.
No, I have to go do that.
I remember thinking that I wanted to open a restaurant called the American Sushi Bar and Grill because I wanted to make sushi more mainstream. In America, because it was I thought it was so good and easy to understand, and it did that on its own. I'm in Home Depot the other day, and two guys who were working there said, "Hey, let's go out for some sushi for lunch," and it's like, okay.
Well, it's great because you know what, your food never gets cold. It's cold. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, I would love it once a week, really. Well, we've talked about food, but we have one thing that's sitting here that no one can see. You might want to hold it up.
I'll hold it up.
Point it right at the camera, because this is something. In addition to the food things, Barry has this book that he's written. You're going to tell us what it's about.
Yeah. So one of the main things we realized many years ago was that we're not really in the restaurant business. We're in the young person development agency.
Well, that's a culture then.
Our job was to create a place where people wanted to come and work. That liked whatever our story was, liked what we were doing, and wanted to be with us, to work with us, whether it was to work with someone like James on the high level we're at, or to come and work in the fun environments that we create. We get a lot of people apply at Dog Lane just because they walk in as customers and they go, man, I want to work here. And we set out to do that, and we really put our staff first. I mean, we always say our first customers are our employees. We need to create a place that satisfies them first. Because if we can create a place that satisfies them, right, then they're going to automatically just satisfy the customer because they're going to fulfill within the story that we're telling on a fundamental level. Or really, it's this. My unofficial title is Chief Storyteller. And the Vanilla Bean Cafe and 85 Main and Dog Lane Cafe and Fenton River Grill are on a very fundamental level stories that I've dreamed up and get other people to help me tell and to continue to tell.
When you have to give a nod to your other partner too, right?
So Steve Smith
at
Fenton, but the one I left out, of course, is my brother. My brother's partner in all four of these. His name's Brian. He's been with me since the beginning.
The bro.
And we have very good divergent skills. A lot of what I'm really good at, he doesn't want to do, and a lot of what he does, I go, yeah, sure, have fun doing that.
That's a good relationship.
And it's great. And advice I always tell people, well, how do you stay in business with your family? It's this, and this works across every business, right? And it's don't make requests of people where they cannot or do not want to fulfill, or where they don't have the skill to fulfill. A lot of breakdowns are caused because you're asking someone to do something even though they don't like doing it or don't want to do it. And then you wonder why the breakdown happened. Right? So that's one of the things we do.
Well, that's relationships 101, huh?
Yeah, so the book came from us working with all these staffs over the years. And I would speak occasionally at like Eastern Connecticut State University or UConn or some other places. And I came away one day from the question and answer period with them, and the outline of the book just sort of came to me. It's like how I could structure what it is I do and what it is I teach into a book that I could then share with other people.
So it's called The Drunkard's Path. Are you the drunkard?
No. The Drunkard's Path refers to two things. Okay. One is it's a stitch in quilting. And the thing about it is it's not one you're going to do right away. It's not for beginners. But once you get good at quilting, this stitch allows you to open up your space of possibilities for design.
Oh, interesting.
Right? And so what I do is I take young people and I encourage them to step up and do the harder thing. Learn something new, take it on, because it's going to open up a whole new space of possibilities in your future, right? So it's like, wow, look at the connection. And the other is, I know people who are older, and I ask them,
he's looking at me.
when you look back on your career path, was it ever a straight line? And almost never is it is. We all walk our own drunkard's path through life.
And, 25 minutes is almost gone.
Yeah.
And you're just getting started. And I feel so bad that we have to cut things off at this point. So many things. Check out Green Valley Hospitality. Check out the restaurants. Barry Jesserun, thank you so much for being here today on WILI. I will see you guys next week at 5:05 p.m. on Monday. Here with Ravings and Cravings. Check me out on Instagram, Crave Eat Love, and have a good evening.